seen today, or you get a chance to share this with members or friends that may not have had a chance to come today to visit us and join us at this morning tea. But sit back, relax, enjoy. There's a lot of energy coming, and there's no one else with more energy than our very own District Governor, Philip Archer. You have the floor, Philip.
Thank you, Michael Lapina. Thanks for being our MC today. It's a great start with you at the helm. And thanks to all our crew behind the scenes. We've had a little bit of fun prior to you coming online. So I'm sure, having listened to everyone's banter from about 9:30, that we've got some fun in store for you. But I wanted to thank all of you Rotarians for putting in a great effort under the most adverse conditions that we faced, I'd say ever, with COVID-19 in the end of grants year and the start of this year. And hopefully with the news coming out that the economy seems to be coming out of its demise or malaise, and the fact that the vaccine is nearly there for us all around the world in March, that the world will be opening up a little bit more. But I'd say we've got still a few hard yards ahead of us. So it's great that we are all working together. We're in this united, and we're doing our very, very best to serve the community, as we Rotarians always do. And every one of you deserves a huge round of applause and a great deal of gratitude from Rotary and from our community. So I want everyone to give each other a round of applause. I do hope that, like me and Tricia, that you're going to enjoy some family time and downtime over the coming weeks. Certainly, I'll be thinking of the plans for the year ahead with my Gen train in Dale Hoy and Amanda Wendt, and with the district leadership team to make sure that we deliver the most that we can for our district, our clubs, and our members. So stay tuned for some exciting weeks ahead in the new part of the year in 2021. There's still some interesting work that's happening, and I just wanted to bring some of it to your attention today with this morning tea. So you're going to hear from some very interesting speakers. But what I also wanted to share with you was that we have started the CEO Satellite Club at South Bank. And we've got some very inspiring senior executives, men and women, who are bringing new ideas and opportunities to us. And we'll be sharing that with you in the coming weeks and months. I'd like you to think also of your club's signature project for the R100 grouping of community projects, so that we can truly all celebrate the centenary of Rotary on the 21st of April, reflecting the Rotary Club of Melbourne's 100th birthday. There's a lot to do, and your club can do something towards that. So I'd like you to consider even taking one of your own projects and for the year making it an R100 project and listing that project on the centenary website at the Rotary Club of Melbourne. It'll be an opportunity for you to upgrade, refurbish, and amplify your club signature project. So wouldn't that be a great initiative? One of the beautiful things that I've just learnt off is that Rotary Club of Melbourne and Sydney together have worked on a new stamp and coin release to celebrate the centenary of Rotary. That will be happening on the 8th of February. UBS Australia are going to be live streaming an event from their boardrooms in Melbourne and Sydney. So some of us will have the opportunity to visit in a COVID-safe way, a breakfast launch of the coins and stamps, and others will be encouraged and given the opportunity to join us on Zoom. So stay tuned for that as well. That is the 8th of February from around 7 a.m. For a new coin, two coins actually, $1 and a $5 coin, and a series of stamps that will promote the centenary of Rotary and what we've been doing for 100 years. I've seen the images. They are an embargo, and I've got to tell you, they are very reflective of a contemporary Rotary, which we should all be very proud of. A little later this morning, the team helping on the centenary National Australia Day project event will come online and tell you a little bit more about that and help you to understand how you can get involved. So I'm looking forward to introducing you for that. But that's all for me for now. I'll come back and help answer any questions later and share with you some of the other ideas that we are putting into play in 2021 with the help of all of you. Thanks, Michael. Over to you.
Thank you, DG. And in Rotary, we are very, very synonymous for having any type of acronym. And one of the most important acronyms that I want you to remember is DIK. DIK, for those of you who are new to the game, is donation in kind. And no other Rotarian in this district is synonymous with DIK than Bob Glindeman. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Bob, who will explain to you what DIK is.
Michael, thank you very much indeed for that introduction. I'm particularly pleased to be able to talk about DIK, and there'll be a slide pack come up in a moment to talk a little more about what we do at West Footscray. And having seen that video 5, 6, 7, 8, I think that'll be the new exercises that we'll use at the start of every day at DIK. It might change some of the people that work there, but by Joe's, I could see some of them jumping around to that music quite rapidly. Now, a lot of people say donations in kind is one of the best kept secrets that we have in Rotary. And I'll certainly subscribe to that, because no matter how much we talk about it, it's surprising how many people, when you say the 3 initials, DIK, what on earth is donations in kind? And there's the little logo, donations in kind, which you'll see in many of those locations. Thanks, Rob. Next. We've got to do this a little remotely this morning. What's DIK all about? Look, it's a very simple process of collecting goods, storing them, distributing them, to all sorts of places around the globe. In fact, in this last 20 years since the organisation has been in its current form, we've shipped to 33 different countries, some of them many times, some of them only the once. But the main thing is an awful lot of it goes to developing countries. That's the very important part about it. But increasingly it's being used for local community projects as well as international projects. Thanks, Rob. It's an incorporated organisation and it services 4 clubs within the districts in Victoria, 9790, 800, 810 and 820. The important thing, it's run by volunteers. There's predominantly Rotarians, but we have a lot of other people who are non-Rotarians. It costs us about $150,000 a year to run the organisation. Most of that is paid, is in the rent that we pay for our landlord. A very generous organisation, but we still have to pay an appropriate amount of money so that they can meet their outgoings on the site, particularly land tax, which is a big commitment for them at West Footscray. And it's underwritten by a group of clubs, 22 clubs, that form Donations in Kind Incorporated. And they commit to contributing an annual payment to the costs. It was established originally in 1978, but more particularly in 2001 as a project of the Rotary Club of West Footscray. And in the 20 years that it's been operating under that sort of umbrella, we've shipped 620 containers, that's 40-foot containers, to 34 developing countries. And the value of those goods is just over 65 million. Now you say 65 million, that's an awful lot of stuff. But in addition to the 65 million, there's been nearly $9 million raised for the cost of running the store and the cost of shipping. So whilst we've shipped $65 million worth of goods, there's another $9 million has gone into running the operation. That $65 million is an actual figure based on the second-hand value of the material that goes into the container. And a good example you can see there on the right-hand side of that slide are the beds that are going into that particular container. In the last couple of weeks, we've sent 4 40-foot containers of beds to Sri Lanka to help them cope with their COVID situation. Now, the goods that we collect are available for any Rotary International Service project. They're designated to be distributed through projects according to the Rotary's areas of focus, and environmental focus is being added in as we move into the next period of Rotary. And they're the three main areas: educational equipment, medical equipment and aids, and surplus unused new clothing. Thanks, Rob. The core activity is recycling, and we're probably the district's largest project supporting that new area of focus, supporting the environment. Our operation hasn't changed. We've been doing that for 20 years. It's all been recycling. But we now have the opportunity to tell the story to a lot more people about what we're doing to save the amount of material that goes to waste. It's critical when you think of the rubbish that gets tossed out, but more particularly with that rubbish, there's an awful lot of good stuff. And as this next slide will show you, the photograph there is of an anaesthetic machine, which would have been destined for the tip. That particular piece of machinery is destined for Tonga. And if you look at the medical equipment that we get, beds and mattresses, we have no difficulty getting the number of beds to meet the needs that people are asking us to fill. There is something like 660 beds at the Austin Hospital right now through a bed replacement program. Well, it's only 500 because we just shipped 100, but they're all available to us as and when we need them. Medical equipment, monitors, humidity cribs, scanners, linen. This is all stuff that previously headed to landfill, and now they're going to places that need them overseas. And of course, all of the mobility aids. A lot of these are going overseas, but an awful lot are being used in community service projects as well. The number of occupational therapists that visit DIK on a Tuesday or a Thursday when the store's open are picking these pieces of equipment up to meet the needs of the constituents in your community. So it's not just shipping them overseas. Think about the organisations that work within your sphere of influence and how you might be able to tap into these facilities and the goods that are available from donations in kind. And the goods that are available in this store are available to all of the Rotary clubs in the 4 districts. Education equipment is an enormous area of support. We have a standing request from the Government of East Timor for 10,000 desks and 20,000 chairs. That's an awful lot of desks and chairs, and it's because they've got the money to build the schools, but they don't equip them. So they build a lovely new school and the kids sit on the concrete floor. All we have to do is find about $9,000 to ship a 40-foot container of 500 desks and chairs, and that will sort a new classroom of probably three or four classrooms in a new school that's being built somewhere. There are 3 new schools being built currently, and we've just shipped up 1 container, and there'll be 2 more will go early in the new year, and that'll equip those schools ready to start the new education year in Timor. We also love to get stocks of stationery. We can't get enough of them to meet the needs of those kids in developing countries. I'll give you another example of Timor. We make up a school pack, and that school pack will last the kids in that class for 1 year. So it's a very simple thing to do, a very cheap project. When they start back to school sales coming into late December, early January, it's a great project for your club to go to Office Works and harangue them to give you a special deal on a couple of thousand exercise books, bring them to the store, they'll find their way into a school in one of the developing countries where otherwise the kids wouldn't have anything to work with. Thanks, Rob. And new clothing. There's 2 of our bright volunteers at the store. The amount of new clothing we get offered is phenomenal. And when I say new clothing, I mean brand new clothing. It's still got the tags, the plastic bags, and just recently we've distributed 8,000 pairs of Crocs shoes that we were donated. They were distributed through the DIK Inc. clubs to a variety of worthy organisations within the communities that they service. And unfortunately, there's none left now. They disappeared very, very rapidly. But that's a classical example of a donation that's been made to the store, and an awful lot of people are going to have a happier Christmas because they'll have shoes on their feet. Thanks, Rob. How can you help? You can establish an international service project. You don't have to do it by yourself. You can do it as part of a cluster group, or come and talk to us about assisting us ship one of those containers of desks and chairs. It might be a contribution of $1,000. 5 clubs, $1,000. DIK will put in the balance of the money, and suddenly there's a full container of desks and chairs heading for Timor. Get other clubs involved in your joint projects. It's an easy way to do it. Many of you have been to the store. The pity of it is that many of you haven't been to the store. And when you come to the store, you can see what I mean by saying the amount of goods that are available for you to help. So come and volunteer on a Tuesday and a Thursday. There's always something to do. You can also help us by identifying goods for donations. We get offers regularly from people wanting to donate things, but they're all over Melbourne. It's very difficult for us to get out and see that material before we say yes, because we will always want to see it or a photograph before we accept it. We are not a rubbish tip. So we want to make sure that the goods that we are going to either collect or have delivered to us are goods that we can use and not something that we then have to pay to get rid of. You can become a DIK sponsor club and make a financial donation. That's pretty important, and become part of the team that manages the store. It's a great vehicle to get new members. I mean, the classical example is the Passport Club, and you can see them on the screen, Jenny Foster and a number of the team there from the Passport Club who are working at the DIK store today. And that's been a source of new members for the Passport Club and a number of other clubs that have met at the store. And once we move into this new COVID situation, we'll be able to have more and more clubs able to have their meetings at the store. We can do the catering for you and generally see what DIK is all about. A phone call to me or a phone call to Laurie on that number on the screen will certainly give you more information, or go and have a look at the DIK website. Philip, thanks for the opportunity to talk about DIK this morning. It really is a wonderfully inclusive project that delivers very, very significant benefits to the community and to the global community that we in fact service. The numbers speak for themselves, and we'd love to see you at the store one day to see what it's all about. Thanks.
Well done, Bob. That's great.
And we've got the wonderful team from DIK who've actually on site there. So we've got the Hawthorn. So Tilak, did you want to give us an update of what's actually happening live at DIK?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We are having our COVID restrictions in place. We are following all the rules. I would introduce you, famous Jenny Foster, Peter Lugg, he's an orthopedic surgeon. All the medicals are here today. And Gordon, you know Gordon is well known, Gordon Chain, and Ginny, who's retired.
Come on in.
So we got others. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Deb, midwife nurse.
Midwife nurse.
Hey, hi Deb.
And
Alex, member of Kilo East to help us as well.
Yeah, that's cool. So what are you guys going to be working on today?
We are working on the medical. We are going to sort out the medical supplies mess. Is that right, Jenny?
It's not a mess. It's an organized.
Organized, yes. Well, we do very little, but Gordon and the team has been working very hard. But we are trying to help as much as possible today to get things in order. So we're going to pack all the medical equipment in appropriate places so they are ready to be packed and to be shipped into the destination they are supposed to be in. And thank you. Good to see you, the DG Philip Archer, back in Tasmania. He joined us, our club, on the 27th of October. He's a very well organized. He's well known for his organization skills and everything else. But he briefed us how difficult the year has been for all of us. But given the circumstances, we are doing a terrific job, and you can see that in people in action. And it's a privilege to be part of the Rotary movement, and certainly the year has been tough. As he said before, the people are new themes with the Rotary International President's new theme, open doors, open opportunities, which sort of signifies, highlight how you're going to go out of your square to perform effectively and get engaged the community to particularly getting CEOs and millennials into the Rotary organization and be effective.
Thanks, Tilak. Thanks, Tilak. All right, we'll hand back over now to, and all to all the DIK workers, Merry Christmas and thank you for everything you're doing. Amazing. Great to have you join us this morning. Okay, Michael, back to yourself.
Thank you so much. And Bob, thank you so much. And for all of those at DIK for a wonderful presentation. The contact details were presented on the screen, so I'm sure Bob and others will be more than happy to address any questions that you may have. But please remember to, if you do have questions, just pop them into the chat window, and I'm sure Bob will be there typing mad, responding to any concerns or questions that you may have around DIK.
Michael, can I just interrupt you one little moment?
Yes,
I heard them say a mess at DIK. When we get there on Tuesday, I certainly hope there's no mess.
I can certainly vouch for how well ordered DIK is kept under Bob's stewardship there, because I've been on the receiving end working at DIK. So Bob, well done to you and the team there. It is an excellent place.
Yeah.
And I strongly encourage all of us here to take some time out to even have a look at what DIK do. And it's an amazing thing. And you just don't realize how it's a great example of how a little idea that started in the Rotary Club of West Footscray can benefit everyone internationally, and that's what Rotary International is all about. Now, moving on to our next speaker.
Mark, before you do, can I just interrupt here?
Yes.
I dare say that, Bob, you shouldn't fear. The troops know that you keep a very good ship going with your group, and I think Tilak was just referring to the fact that he sees medical equipment in a different light, medical environment. And that was the only difference, because they know that Laurie will jump on them before you do if he finds a mess next Tuesday.
Precisely.
So, exactly.
Thank
well
you.
done, Bob.
Cheers.
Thank you, DG. And just going on to that international theme that we as Rotarians can actually, just by planting a little seed, we can actually branch out and help people on an international level. It gives me great honor and to be able to invite Rotarian Aviv Palti from the Melbourne Passport Club to introduce another amazing international project. Take it away, Aviv.
Michael, thank you. And thank you, Philip, for the opportunity of spending a few moments this morning to share with everybody a project which we have going in Cambodia. This is a project which is hosted in country by, excuse me 1 minute, by an incredible organization which is called the Cambodian Rural Students Trust. And the Cambodian Rural Students Trust is an organization that's led entirely by students in Cambodia. So there are now 102 students in Cambodia at high school, university, and those students are mentored how to contribute back to the community. So while these students are at university, they actually take on leadership roles within different projects, and they are empowered to become the leaders of the future, and hence we mentor them on what to do. This NGO has been going for 9 years, and it's completely transparent, accountable, sustainable. The idea is to build up in-country capacity and allow these students to grow and become young leaders in their society, and then inspire other students to remain at school, not drop out at high school, go through university, and become social change leaders. This particular project is called Project W, Water for Education. It is aiming to reach 57 schools in rural Siem Reap province, providing drinking water to 30,000 students and 10,000 families. And it's an incredibly large project, 57 sky hydrants to be installed. And obviously there's lots of processes to be followed to ensure that this is a sustainable project, not just installing them and moving away. And this particular project actually started with another project, which is an environmental project. While the vision of Project W, Water for Education, is to provide safe drinking water for students every day, it's also providing a clean environment, and that's where it started. A project to educate 40,000 students at 90 rural high schools about how to reduce the use of single-use plastic and assisting them to become single-use plastic free, and providing them with the ability to know what plastic does to the environment and human health, but also the tools to be able to become plastic free, collecting the plastic, using refillable bottles for water and organic cotton bags. And by distributing these bottles, we found out that many of the schools did not have clean water for their students. So the 57 schools are going through a community needs assessment. These are the Cambodia Rural Student Trust Say No to Plastic team from Project R, Refuse, Reduce, Reuse, Recycle. They're visiting each of the 57 beneficiary schools to assess the water that is in the school at the moment. These schools already have water available, but it's not clean. That water then gets assessed in Siem Reap in town. We assess the results and ensure that the Sky hydrant can actually provide the filtration system that's needed. The team then provide a full report as to what the existing infrastructure is at the school, so we can use as much of that infrastructure as possible. And we then have a plan, which is done by each school. Everybody's got obviously different requirements, including the water filtration system, the tanks that are required, and a budget that goes along with it. I can't underscore enough that this work is being done in Cambodia on the ground exclusively by university students, and here in Australia with mentorship from Rotarians. And that's really what Rotary is all about, the ability to build up in-country capacity by allowing experienced Rotarians and volunteers to interact with the local communities. And this is another project in Cambodia that's been completed by Rotarians providing the Sky hydrant system into local communities. So the process itself is that we are taking, there are some details of ours on the screen. I'll come back to the process in a minute. The details are for myself. If you want to jot down a phone number, we can circulate this as well. Jenny Foster is another great contact. Most of you would be very familiar with Jenny. The idea behind this project is to ensure that we have an ability to build up in-country capacity, not simply go to a country and bring our volunteering skills and bring our funds and create something, but actually mentor a group of young adults on how to help their own community sustainably. And of course, this ticks a lot of Rotary boxes, from water, sanitation, hygiene, obviously education, and then it keeps going through to sustainability. And from Rotary's point of view, this is not about coming in and doing a short-term project. The project is being split over 2 years because there are so many schools. The first 4 schools are currently being hosted, or there's a district international grant being hosted by the Rotary Club of Keilor East, and we thank them for that. We want to partner with as many Rotary clubs as possible in our district to make this a district-wide program. And even though the funds are quite significant, because you can imagine 57 Sky hydrants is almost $300,000, $285,000. That amount of money doesn't scare us, because we've got lots of business ideas in play as well. We already have business organizations who want to partner with Rotary to make this happen. And there are some business organizations who are promoting funds or providing funds for this project. And the Keilor East District International Grant is going to be attracting business funding as well. So the idea is to make sure that we combine the Rotarian approach to volunteering, fundraising, creating projects, whether it's in country or whether it's contributing knowledge, with business experience and business contribution, as well as local community capacity building to leave a sustainable future. When this project is finished, the Sky hydrants will continue to be maintained in country, so they actually will continue to be useful for the over 100,000 beneficiaries for the lifespan of the product. So thank you once again, Philip, for the opportunity of sharing what we're doing in Cambodia with the team. And if there are any of the Rotarians who would like more information, please feel free to contact either yourself, Philip, you can point them in our direction, or Jenny Foster or myself. We would absolutely love to connect with you. For us, we want this to be a Rotary, a district Rotary effort to unite our capacities and our capabilities. Thank you.
Excellent
presentation.
Thank
Go,
you.
Mr. Archer.
Michael, thanks. I think next on the agenda, but I wanted to brief everyone at the halfway mark about a real serious tragedy for our district. We've had, unfortunately, one of our stalwarts of the district pass away last week after an illness that took him into hospital for quite a few weeks. And that is our past district governor, Gordon McKern, very much loved by all of us, particularly in Bendigo, but across the district. And I'm very sad to bring that news to everyone, but I know Gordon wants us not to feel sad, but to celebrate all the work that he and his team in Bendigo have undertaken over the years, and also across the district. In fact, he's so organized, he's made sure the family know just exactly the sort of fantastic send-off he wants, and that'll be happening on Monday in Bendigo at 11 o'clock. So there are some of us who've been lucky enough to be invited because of the COVID restrictions, and I certainly will be going up there to help the family celebrate his great life. He's been a huge mentor to me over the last few months, and it's been a pleasure to have the opportunity to actually use him as a sounding board. He's such a practical, positive, caring, inspiring man that he will certainly remain in my thoughts and prayers for quite a while. In fact, with the family, he's given them instructions that he wants his message of be kind, be passionate, lend a hand when it is needed at every opportunity to resonate at his service. So I know, talking to him recently, about 3 weeks ago, he was very appreciative of all the work that all of us were doing in this COVID-19 time. He's certainly a passionate Rotarian and leader, and wanted to know all the detail about what everyone was up to. And one of the projects that he really got interested in was our Australia Day celebrations, which, in partnership with the National Australia Day Council, will help us reflect, respect, and celebrate our country's history, including the 65,000 years of Indigenous work that's gone on to protect our nation, but also our multiculturalism, and certainly, from a Gordon McKern perspective, our volunteering in Australia. He told me in no uncertain terms that Rotary is the place that connects people. That's been our history for 100 years, and we should do everything possible to bring the nation together. He was very keen on an employment program nationally, along with a few other DGs, and he was a great supporter of many, many projects, Rotary and community, in his area. So he's going to be well regarded in his farewell, and I know all of you will share with me your prayers and thoughts for Gordon in the coming days and weeks. But I wanted to now talk to you about this amazing opportunity that we have to celebrate Australia Day. And I'm going to ask Casey Tan and Lily Teichman to bring us up to date with what we are planning. So Casey and Lily, over to you.
Thank you, DJ Philip. To start off with, I'll just sort of, I've been called impromptu to give this presentation. So I'll just do a number of question and answers, raise a question and answer myself. So what's the background of this event? The event arises because on the 20th of October, Rotary found out about opportunities from the National Australia Day Council to organize Australia Day program. And I think DG Phil organized a small committee of past District Governor Danny Shaw, myself, Fabian Nicola, and Lily Teichman to sort of help coordinate this event Australia-wide. Why are we doing it? Because we are Aussies, and this is Australia. And what is it all about? The theme this year is to reflect, respect, and celebrate. We are all part of the story. So we're going to use opportunity to celebrate 100 years of Rotary volunteerism. We are all one. Only when we unite as one people can we advance as a nation, bringing out the best in all of us as one nation, one people. How are we doing it? There's going to be a major national event hosted by us in our district that will be broadcast Australia-wide. They will have the district governor, Phil Archer, and Greg Ross, and the Governor General, Lady Hurley. We'll have RI, our own Aussie President of RI, Ian Risley, 2017-18. And we'll have Dr. Jesse Harmon, who will be the RI Director from 2021 to 23. So it'll be a nice big major event with a lot of national celebrities, top singers and entertainers. And then there'll be a local event. The local event will be organized across 55 clusters right across Australia at a local club level. I'll call on Lily Theismann later to explain what has been done at the local level. I will just say quickly that to thank Sandy Poacher, Sandy has done a very good template on what he could organize at a local event, so that any club or super clusters out there are still planning to do their work. Time is running out. We got about 2 weeks to Christmas, and probably about 2 weeks before when we come back from Christmas. So we want a template, contact Sandy Poacher, myself, Fabian, Nicola, or Lily Theismann. Who is paying for this? We got over $1 million in funding to organize this Australia-wide. So it's fantastic. Each super cluster are getting $20,000 plus GST if we are registered for it. And who are we celebrating with? Basically, we are celebrating Rotarians, you, your friends, your family, neighbors, schools, first responders, COVID workers, your neighbors, local community business leaders, and potential members. So I'll call on Lily now to talk about the local event. Lily, you there?
I'm here. Thanks, Casey, and good morning, everyone. I have to say I am excited, and I know that Casey and Fabienne are also excited as we get closer to their date. So as you heard from Casey, progress is underway for both the main broadcast event and the individual supercluster events. The application signatory club would now have received their agreement from the National Australia Day Council. And if you haven't already done so, please sign that agreement and submit it along with an invoice on club letterhead to the National Australia Day Council. The invoice should be for the sum that your supercluster applied for. If you are registered for GST, then you'll need to add 10% to that. And shortly, we will advise the district bank account that you'll be able to transfer the $2,000 from your $20,000 grant to cover the main broadcast event. So there are 11 clubs in the supercluster that I'm involved with, and these clubs have been grouped into 3 consortiums and 2 single events. And there are a couple of things that I'd like to highlight here. Firstly, regarding insurance, we are covered by Rotary Insurance, but as you know, all public events that we hold need to have the risk management form filled out and sent through to district insurance. So please be aware of that. And you'll find that form under the governance section on the district website. It's also advisable that all signatory presidents send their supercluster clubs a copy of the agreement that they received so that they can familiarise themselves with the specific criteria required by the council in promoting the event. And that information is found towards the end of that document. Please know that Fabienne, Casey and I are available to assist in any way you may need right up until the big day. We are here to help you. Okay, thank you.
Is she a member of your club?
No.
Awesome. Fantastic. Casey and Lily, thank you so much for introducing us to the great event that's coming up for the National Australia Day. And it is something that I've been involved with as well. We've put in our application. I haven't heard back from them yet, but I'm sure it's just sitting there in my email. 2021 is less than 26 days away. Can you believe that? And so just over a month away, we're going to be doing this huge event, which is going to be done nationally. I started today's morning tea with a beautiful, fun, energetic music video from Steps, which was released 22 years ago. Now, just recently, in fact, on the 27th of November, they've released another song in another album called What the Future Holds. And it makes sense for us to be listening to this right now, because right now, the type of year that we've had and what's about to come around the corner, we really, really do not know. But I tell you what, we do have time for a bit of a musical interlude. Enjoy this song from Steps, their newest song called What the Future Holds.
One more teardrop, the surface tension breaks, and if the surface tension breaks, then I will pour my pain and more. Then my heart stops, what will it take? 'Cause if it breaks, cause if it does, I'll turn to dust. 140 in the past and 140 in the future. I need to take a class and stay in right here with ya. I'm drowning in my history, prisoner of past defeats. Tell me what the future holds. Tell me, baby. Terrified of things to come. Paralyzed, I cannot run. Tell me what the future holds. Tell me, baby.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I feel like a bit of a DJ here because I get to talk about music right now. And Mr. Archer, thank you so much for the music that you've selected today, because the Lapina over here approves. It is fantastic and I've had a lot of fun listening to it. It gives me great pleasure to segue into something else music related. We have a very, very special Rotarian in our district who is music everything. She has been the great proponent for Rotary in Harmony, which is about bringing music back out to our members out there during this difficult time, but most importantly, keeping it aligned to supporting something that is very close to all of our hearts, which is the Australian Rotary Health Lifting the Lid. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce a very close friend and past classmate of a long, long time ago, Sue Foley, to update us on an amazing event that's just around the corner. Take it away, Sue.
Thank you, Michael. And yes, we have known each other for a long time, and it's wonderful to see you still very much in the music industry and sharing your wonderful gift with us. We were very lucky to have Michael in the first of the Rotary in Harmony series, the classical event. We then moved on to jazz, rock and roll, and most recently the Celtic. And we're going to finish up this strange and challenging year with a wonderful Rotary in Harmony Christmas Carols event on the 13th of December. You will see entertainers and performers who have delighted us with their music. Claire Patty will return, Maria Ford will return, Michael will once again grace us with his wonderful talent. I'm getting together with some friends of mine to do a couple of carols. There's just going to be a plethora of wonderful artists who are donating their time to help us raise awareness and money for multiple programs through Rotary. We'll also be inviting a speaker from STEPS who provide crisis relief to families suffering domestic violence. And we know that Christmas can be a very challenging time in that area. So some of the money raised will be donated as a Christmas donation to STEPS. So I do urge you all to get online and register. Don't leave it until the Sunday, because a lot of people have found themselves locked out of the concert because you can't register on the Sunday. Donations are greatly appreciated. So if you do have the capacity, and I know not everybody does this year, if you have the capacity to make a donation, those donations would be gratefully accepted, either when you register for the event or whether you then go to Australian Rotary Health and make your donation directly. So please share this with all your friends and relatives. It's going to be a very special day. We're hoping that Santa will find his way to our concert, and we'd love to see as many people as we can get for this final celebration. Non-Rotarians, Rotarians, friends of Rotary, everybody is welcome. So please share the message far and wide. And we have a fantastic, huge toy raffle on the day, which will be $10 per ticket. And I will let you know all the details of that toy raffle. We have an electric car that seats 2 children, toy scooters, sports equipment. We've all been donated. It's all new and ready to go out to some lucky family for the Christmas event. So 13th of December, 3 p.m. Please don't miss it, and get involved. And we'd love to see you at that particular event.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sue. And it is going to be an amazing event. If any of the Rotary in Harmonies is a taste of what is coming up, it's going to be over the top and absolutely amazing, and one to not miss. Ladies and gents, I did miss out on thanking Aviv a little earlier. Aviv is, you know, in Rotary, I have witnessed all around the place where a little bit of thought, a seed planted, and connecting in with other people. The strength in Rotary and what we achieve is based on our networks that we build. And we've got 1.2 million Rotarians, but we've got over 7 billion people in the world where we can actually tap them on the shoulder and get them to help us create the strength in numbers that makes Rotary very successful. And, you know, the End Polio is a great example of that. And Aviv, it seems like you've just started another one of these great initiatives that will steamroll and become an avalanche throughout this whole world, because of the fact that we're now tapping into the business network as well as all the other Rotarians and friends that we have access to. So Aviv, thank you so much for your time and your presentation. I'm sure you'll be able to answer questions during question time, but also I saw Maria on the chat saying that your presentation is available and your details are available on that presentation. So once again, Aviv, on behalf of all of us here today, thank you so much for your presentation.
Michael, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's
Awesome.
an absolute pleasure to be involved.
Fantastic. Well, you know, we don't have a morning tea with the district governor if we don't hear from the district governor himself. So I'm just about to hand over to the district governor, but DG, I do have to say, because it is that crazy time in the year, I have to leave, and so I thank you for allowing me to be the MC. I have to go and actually be part of the Victorian State School Spectacular, so I'm part of the music in that, and we have a meeting that starts in about 3 minutes, so I apologize that I can't be here for the rest, but I have left a little gift for everyone who has stayed to enjoy the morning tea with the DG today. And hopefully you can play that at the end. But Philip, thank you for having me, and I shall depart soon.
Michael, thank you so much. Everyone, can we give Michael a round of applause for his MC?
Well done, Michael.
Thanks, everyone. I shall see you all very soon. And don't forget Rotary in Harmony. I'll be singing there. So take care. Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay, so time for Q&A. I've been asked a couple of questions in the chat room. One of them was from Michael Donnelly, who asked the question, what are we doing to bring our Indigenous folks closer to us and help them with not considering Australia Day to be Invasion Day? Well, what Gordon McKern has told me, and what a number of you have said, is that we in Rotary bring people together. And if there was ever the biggest opportunity in Australia in bringing people together, it is on this matter. So we have reached out through Sue Vincent, who helped set up our diversity, equity and inclusion team, to a chap called Matt Lanigan, who has been working with and I've got a mental block here, our Indigenous footballer from Sydney, who
Adam Good.
Adam Good, thank you.
Adam Good.
Adam and Matt for the last 3 years have been working on a message that says, let's have a conversation at every barbecue possible, every opportunity possible, to say to people that we should leave Australia Day where it is on the 26th of January, but we should also start a conversation about healing and respecting the fact that our First Nations people have been here for 65,000 years looking after our land, that Australia now is a multicultural society, that we together, working together as one, are best placed to manage our land, our economy, and our young people's development, and much more. So that message certainly resonates with us in Rotary, and I'm hoping if Adam can't do it because of his other commitments, that we have someone come along, as Michael has asked me to consider doing, is getting someone to read the Uluru Statement or something alike, where we do bring people together. So that is a work in progress. We're working with the best people on that message, but we certainly in Rotary are best placed, I think, to bring people together to solve a big challenge, and this one is a big challenge. So let's not run away from it. Let's actually stay the course and try and bring everyone together. That would be the approach that we would take. There was another question that came up in the chat room, which I will try and find. Does anyone have any other questions in the meantime? Jenny, do you have a question? I can see you. No? Okay. I think the other question was about Mooner. Neville Page, president of the Rotary Club of North Melbourne, has done an amazing job under very difficult conditions with COVID to put together an international program spanning India, Australia, and New Zealand, with 36 teams participating in Model United Nations Assembly this weekend, starting at 1 o'clock today and finishing tomorrow afternoon at about 3:30. So congratulations to Neville and everyone involved in that amazing youth program. They've done a fabulous job. The agenda looks terrific, and I'm looking forward to being on there this afternoon. Okay. John Daniels, lovely to see you there clapping, and great to see so many of our friends come along. I'm very sad about news of Gordon McKern, but we will all give him a big send-off on Monday. And I know there's been a lot of chat. George Dennis and quite a few others have commented about his VJ, and others have commented about his leadership, his beautiful qualities as a Rotarian and as a citizen Rotarian, a model citizen Rotarian. So I'm sure all our thoughts and prayers will go out for him. As there are no other questions, we must be doing very, very well in communicating everything. Thank you all for being here today.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
I want to know, what's it like being back home after 8 months of being away from home? Like, you've been amazing in what you've provided for all of us here, but you've now back home. What's it like? What's it like being at home, Philip?
Well, it's a joyous occasion for me and for Tricia and for our pets. And it was great seeing a friendly, smiling face, Tricia's smiling face at the airport. We had a great lunch on the way home and connected, but it was a beautiful thing to come home, and Ziggy remembered me and he ran around like a mad thing, playing soccer.
Ziggy's the cat, by the way.
And dining room, and doing his sliding act, his moves. So he hasn't let me go since I got here, which is nice. And Tricia just says,
I greeted Philip with a great big to-do list.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to a bit of a break. But I will be back for our board meeting in Melbourne and for Gordon's funeral in Bendigo tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Lovely to see you all. Have a great weekend, and we'll go out with some inspiring music from our own Michael Lapina. Have a great week ahead.
Stay put for ready for a minute. We're just going to find this video in 2 secs.
Well, whilst you're finding it, I just wanted to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas if I don't see you before Christmas break. And thank you for all your hard work. You're an amazing group. Best wishes to you and your family for a safe and happy holiday season. Poor old Michael's song is somewhere in the ether, isn't it, Sandy?
Thank you, Philip.
It's coming. Just hang in there, everybody. Sorry. Sorry. It came through quite late, so keep your fingers crossed that this will...
This is what happens when we're actually running early to our schedule, right?
Yes.
Well, that's true.
Plane has landed, but the jetway's not ready.
Philip, you'll have to take over if we can't find it.
Yes, you'll have to sing.
Grant, Happy to do that with some backing from you and Dale and all the other DGs past. So let's go.
You
Happy
don't want
birthday.
people to
No, that's the wrong song.
People will just leave.
Well done, Sandy.
Well done, Sandy. Well done, everyone. Robert.
Can you see me? Why is it not playing? Oh, hang on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No sound.
It's coming.
Stop
You
sharing.
better pray it's coming.
Okay, hang on 2 seconds. I'm going to put it into the chat. Robert.
I can hear Keith Ryle and Murray Verso and Dennis Shaw warming up.
Oh God, where's the video thing? Sorry, guys.
Ian Knight and John King
It's
and
not
Neville
even
John.
on, it's not even on. Philip's got it on his email.
Sandy, you've got it too.
Hang on.
All right, let's all get ready to sing.
X.
I sing you a song. It's like
See.
song, birds are fishing this.
Robert, paste, go.
Don't stress, Sandy.
I'm dreaming
of a white
Christmas, just like the ones I used to.
You, Robert W. at ip.com.au.
Hey!
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Saviour's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appears and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night led by the light of faith serenely beaming, with glowing hearts by his cradle we stand. So led by light of a star sweetly gleaming, here came the wise men from the Orient land. The King of Kings lay thus in lowly manger, in all our trials, born to be our friend. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh,
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Well, that was a bit emotional and tearful, but in a positive, happy sense. Have a great week ahead, everyone. Lovely to see your smiling faces online today.
Bye.